You send a message, then you wait. 5 minutes pass, no reply. Suddenly your mind gets to work. Maybe they're busy, maybe they're upset. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I should send another message. Maybe I shouldn't have sent the first one at all. An hour later, you've created an entire disaster inside your head. And the strange part is that you know it's happening. You know you're overthinking. You know most of these possibilities aren't real, yet your brain keeps generating them anyway. Why? Why do humans spend so much time worrying about things that never happen? Why do we replay conversations that ended days ago? Why do we imagine arguments before they occur? Why can a single awkward moment stay with us for years? Most people think overthinking is a flaw, a weakness, a bad habit, something we should simply stop doing. But what if overthinking isn't a mistake? What if it's one of the oldest survival systems ever built into the human brain? Because the truth is this: your mind was never designed to make you peaceful. It was designed to keep you alive, and those are very different goals. Here's something most people never realize. Most of the things humans worry about never happen. The argument never happens. The embarrassment never happens. The rejection never happens. The disaster never happens. Yet we suffer anyway. We experience stress from futures that don't exist, fear from events that never arrive, pain from scenarios that live only in our imagination. Humans may be the only species on Earth capable of suffering from completely imaginary problems, and that raises a strange question. Why would evolution create a brain like that? To answer that, we need to go back far back. Imagine living 30,000 years ago. No cities, no electricity, no hospitals, no police, no supermarkets, just a small group of humans trying to survive another day. Every sound mattered, every decision mattered, every mistake mattered. You wake up before sunrise. Food is uncertain, danger is everywhere. Predators hide in the darkness, rival groups compete for territory. A single injury could become a death sentence. Now imagine two people, the first hears movement in the bushes, he ignores it. Probably nothing. The second can't stop thinking about it. What made that sound? How close is it? Could it be dangerous? Should we move camp? Should we stay awake? One person relaxes, the other overthinks. Which one survives more often? Evolution answered that question thousands of times. The cautious survived, the alert survived, the worrier survived. The humans who imagined possible dangers before they happened often lived long enough to have children, and eventually their brains became our brains. Because in nature, missing a real threat is usually worse than imagining a fake one. Imagine hearing a rustle in the grass. If you assume it's a predator and you're wrong, you lose a few seconds. If you assume it's harmless and you're wrong, you lose your life. Evolution doesn't reward perfect accuracy, it rewards survival. So the human brain evolved to make false alarms, lots of them. Your mind would rather imagine 10 dangers that aren't there than miss the one that is, and thousands of years later, that system is still running. The world changed. The software didn't. Your ancestors worried about predators. You worry about unread messages. Your ancestors worried about finding food. You worry about job interviews. Your ancestors worried about exile from the tribe. You worry about social media notifications. Different threats, same brain. But here's where things become even more interesting. Overthinking isn't only about physical danger. It's also about people. Because humans didn't survive alone, we survived together. For most of history, belonging to a group wasn't optional, it was survival. Your tribe protected you, fed you, helped raise your children. Being rejected by the group could be devastating. So evolution faced another challenge. How do you make humans care about acceptance? Simple. Make rejection hurt, not emotionally, physically. Researchers studying the brain discovered something remarkable. When people experience social rejection, some of the same brain regions associated with physical pain become active. Think about that. Your brain treats rejection as a serious threat because for most of human history it was. Suddenly, a lot of modern behavior makes sense. The overanalyzing, the replaying, the second-guessing, the fear of saying the wrong thing. Your brain isn't trying to embarrass you, it's trying to protect your place in the group, and sometimes it becomes a little too enthusiastic. Scientists discovered something called the spotlight effect. The results were surprising. Participants were asked to wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a room full of strangers. Before entering, they predicted that most people would notice it. Afterward, researchers asked the observers what they remembered. Very few noticed the shirt at all. The participants believed everyone was paying attention. Almost nobody was. Yet this happens all the time. You remember the awkward thing you said, the embarrassing mistake, the strange thing you wore. Meanwhile, everyone else is busy worrying about themselves. The human brain constantly overestimates how much attention other people are paying to us because deep down it is still monitoring social danger, still asking the ancient question, do I belong? But overthinking isn't just a survival system. It's also a side effect of humanity's greatest superpower, imagination. Humans can do something extraordinary. We can mentally travel into the future. We can imagine tomorrow, next month, next year. We can simulate events before they happen. This ability changed everything. It allowed humans to plan hunts, prepare for winter, build shelters, create tools, predict outcomes. Civilization itself depends on this ability, but every superpower comes with a price. The same imagination that helps you prepare for success can also prepare you for failure. The same mind that imagines opportunity can imagine catastrophe. The same system that builds the future can also create anxiety. Your brain doesn't just generate useful possibilities, it generates all possibilities, including the terrible ones, including the ridiculous ones, including the ones that never happen. And that's where overthinking begins, not with weakness, not with failure, but with imagination. Researchers estimate that people spend a huge portion of their lives thinking about something other than the present moment. The mind wanders constantly to the past, to the future, to unfinished conversations, to possible outcomes, to imagined scenarios. Your brain is always searching, always predicting, always preparing, and sometimes that preparation becomes suffering. Imagine a man preparing for a presentation. The event is 10 minutes long, but for 6 months he worries about it. Every night he imagines failure, forgetting his words. Looking foolish, being judged, losing opportunities, his brain creates hundreds of disasters. Then the day arrives. The presentation goes perfectly. A week later, nobody remembers it. Think about what happened. The presentation caused 10 minutes of discomfort. The anticipation caused 6 months of suffering. And that may be the hidden cost of overthinking. We often suffer more from imagination than reality. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. Maybe there's still a moment from years ago that appears without warning. Something embarrassing, something awkward, something painful. Nobody else remembers it, yet your brain does. Why? Because your mind tagged it as important, as dangerous, as something worth learning from. The brain is a prediction machine. It stores experiences, builds models, looks for patterns, then tries to prevent future mistakes. The problem is that sometimes the lesson outlives the danger. The memory remains, the threat disappears, and yet the alarm keeps ringing, which leads to one of the strangest truths about being human. Humans can suffer from things that no longer exist. We suffer from memories. We suffer from possibilities. We suffer from futures that never arrive. We suffer from conversations that ended years ago. We suffer from events that exist only in imagination. No predator is required. No danger is required. Only thought. And perhaps that is the price of having a mind powerful enough to imagine worlds beyond the present moment. Tonight, when your thoughts start racing, when your mind begins replaying old conversations, when it starts creating problems that don't yet exist, remember what is happening. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It is performing a job that helped your ancestors survive for thousands of generations. It is scanning for danger, searching for answers, preparing for uncertainty. The world it evolved for is gone, but the system remains because humans do not overthink because they are broken. Humans overthink because evolution built a brain that would rather imagine 1,000 dangers that never arrive than miss the one that does. And maybe that's the great paradox of the human mind. The same brain that keeps you awake worrying about tomorrow is the same brain that imagined tomorrow in the first place. It imagined tools before they existed, shelters before they were built, cities before they were founded, civilizations before they appeared. The cost of imagination is overthinking, but the reward of imagination is everything humans have ever created. And perhaps the thing that causes so much of our suffering is also the thing that made us human.